It's simple. If you want to get ahead of 99% of people, you have to be able to do something that 99% of people can't do. And I'll tell you right now, it isn't waking up at 5. I know that sounds obvious, but there's an entire genre of videos promising to put you ahead of everybody else, and it's the same list every single time. Wake up early, cold shower, delete the apps, discipline, something called monk mode. That's the secret. The person who gets up at 4 every morning to open the bakery down the road is disciplined. Discipline is not rare. It's the most repeated advice on the internet, which means, by definition, it cannot be the thing that separates you from everyone else. If an action is so common that you can find 10,000 videos telling you to do it, it is not what puts you ahead of 99% of people. And here's how I know discipline isn't your problem. You're watching a video about getting ahead at night after a full day of work you already did. You didn't come here because you're lazy. You came here because you've been going flat out for years and something still isn't moving. So in the first half of this video, I'm going to tell you what actually separates the people who get ahead. And in the second half, I'm going to tell you why, even once you know it, you almost certainly still won't do it. That second part is the real answer, and nobody talks about it. Here it is. To get ahead of 99% of people over a lifetime, you need 3 things. 1, the ability to work hard. 2, the ability to stop. 3, the willingness to keep going long after it stops being interesting. Let's start with the first, because it's the one you already have. Working hard is the entry fee. It's not the edge. Almost everyone who is ever going to compete with you can also work hard. Effort is table stakes, which brings us to the second one, and this is the whole video. The ability to stop, not collapse, not scroll until 2 in the morning. Stop, deliberately. And this is genuinely rare because it's the only one of the 3 that feels like losing. Look at what the research actually found. In the study that gave us the whole 10,000 hours idea, the elite violinists didn't grind longer than everyone else. They practiced in short, brutal sessions, around 4 hours a day total, and then they stopped. They also slept more than the less accomplished students, and they napped. The difference at the top wasn't more hours. It was better hours, protected by more recovery. Darwin got about 4 hours of real work done a day and spent the rest of it walking the same gravel path behind his house. Bill Gates disappeared to a cabin twice a year with a stack of books and no meetings. Churchill insisted on sleeping in the afternoon and said it let him fit a day and a half of work into a single day. Warren Buffett keeps a calendar most people would describe as empty, and has said the difference between successful people and really successful people is that the really successful ones say no to almost everything. And every athlete at the top of their sport treats sleep as training, not as time off. None of that is a lifestyle choice. It's capacity management. Because the third thing on that list, the willingness to keep going for years, is only physically available to someone who is doing the second one. Everyone else quits, breaks, or gets slowly worse while working harder than ever, which is the strangest and most common way to lose. So effort is overrated. Not because it doesn't matter, it's necessary, but because everybody has it. It's not what determines the size of your result. And 99% of the advice you will ever receive is about effort, because effort is easy to watch and easy to copy. Now, here's the part nobody tells you. You already knew all of that. You've been told to rest 100 times. You've read it, you've nodded at it, and you have never once done it properly. So the useful question was never what to do. It's why you can't. There are 3 reasons, and they're all the same reason wearing different clothes. The first, rest doesn't feel like rest to you. It feels like exposure. Motion is muffling something. All day there's enough noise, enough tasks, enough people needing things, that whatever is underneath stays quiet. Stop moving, and it arrives. So you fill the gap. One more email, one more tidy, one more scroll. You're not avoiding rest. You're avoiding what rest lets in. The second, your worth got attached to your output. Somewhere along the way you learned that being useful was how you stayed valuable, and that lesson never got reviewed. So a day where you produce nothing doesn't feel neutral. It feels like a debt. You can sit still for about 11 minutes before the guilt starts, and you call that being driven. And the third one, which is the actual engine, it isn't ambition, it's fear. And I want to be fair to fear here, because fear is a phenomenal engine. It will carry you further than most people ever get. It has exactly one design flaw. There's no finish line. Ambition can be satisfied. Fear cannot. You hit the goal, you feel relief for about a week, and then the bar quietly moves, which is why you have already achieved things that would have astonished you 5 years ago and felt almost nothing. There's a name for this pattern. It's called high-functioning anxiety. It isn't a diagnosis, and it isn't a flaw. It's anxiety that hides inside competence, the kind that gets applauded instead of noticed. You don't look anxious. You look reliable. You look like the one who has it together. And the better you perform that, the less anyone thinks to check. And I want to be careful here, because this is not me telling you that you're broken. You're not. That drive is real, and it has built you a life that works. You weren't born performing. You learned it. Somewhere, early, your nervous system worked out that being impressive was safer than being still. It was an intelligent strategy. It's just an expensive one. Here's where it all connects. Your ceiling was never your effort. It's your capacity. Capacity is rebuilt in recovery, and the deepest recovery you get is sleep, which is exactly where this pattern hits first. The performance runs all day, and then at 11 at night, in a dark room, with nothing left to do, it finally has nowhere to go. So it starts talking. The email you sent at 4, the thing you said in that meeting, tomorrow's list, a conversation from 2019. For some reason, you're not bad at sleeping. You're running a system that was never given the signal that the day is over, so it stays on. And a system that never switches off doesn't get stronger. It gets slowly smaller. That's the ceiling. Not talent, not discipline. Recovery you never take, because stopping doesn't feel safe. So if you take one thing from this video, don't make it work less. Make it this: build the signal. Something small, fixed, and repeatable that tells your nervous system the day is finished, so recovery can actually start. Mine is in a free PDF called The Off Switch. It's a 10-minute shutdown you run before bed. It's linked below. And the pages are dark, because I know when you'll be reading it. It's free. Take it and use it tonight. And then the bigger question, because the honest version of this video's title isn't an answer, it's a question. Not how do I get ahead of 99% of people, but who am I trying to prove wrong? And what do I think happens to me if I stop? Sit with that one for a minute before you go back to work, because you can absolutely build a life on fear. People do it every day, and some of them build extraordinary things. It just charges you the entire time you're building it, and it never once tells you that you've arrived. You're allowed to want more than that. You're allowed to be the person who gets ahead and also the person who sleeps. Those were never opposites. You were only ever shown the first half. Sleep well. You did enough today.